Hi, I'm right back with another video. It's 1:05 p.m. It is March 27th. It's Friday. Not that that means anything to me because, Friday usually for people who are working is kind of like this celebrated day that you have internally. You're all happy and excited because it's the weekend, but every day is the same for me. So Friday doesn't mean squat, right? Not for me. So anyway, I got up this morning and I decided to look for work. And so I did. I did some of that. Mainly because most of the jobs that were listed really don't fall into the category of something that I would want or even be able to apply for. So I'm I'm tired. I'm just like really wiped out over the whole thing. And there's a part of me that's just like, what do I do? I don't know really what to do, but what I have to throw my hands up in the air. I have no idea. I wanted to make this video because I was thinking about the unrealistic expectations of perps, people who get involved in these things, and their unreasonable demands, being placed on you. And this is most for TIs who are going through this stupid program. They create a lot of problems on the outside, social tension, stress, this sort of stuff. They literally wear you out year after year with their systematic BS, of, the harassment, the illogical arguments that they bring into the workplace, in the community and whatever. And then when you're exhausted, when you're like, your wits end, you have like no energy to do anything, much less any mind power to really apply yourself to what's going on. They expect you to like be able to just hit the ground running. So it's exhausting, and mentally, physically, every way it could possibly be. So I think, what they expect of you, what they expect of you is always going to be unreasonable, okay? Because they don't know what it's like to be trampled on and then have this sort of anxiety or whatever, because you're dealing with people who lack empathy. Okay, so anyway, when you realize that, it's like, you understand there's very little you can do. All you can do is put your best foot forward, and whatever happens, right? So I'm tired today, and there's days where I wake up and I feel like I'm unfocused. I can't focus, and mainly because I feel like I'm working on a very limited timetable. And also, I'm thinking about how this whole coronavirus is affecting, several jobs and being put in a situation that I didn't ask to be put in. And it puts a lot of pressure on you. And you can understand like working deadlines and stuff like that in a regular workplace. That sort of pressure doesn't bother me. But when you are put in a situation where they have literally plowed over your ability to find a job, and it's just too much for a person to deal with. It just is, okay? So, as a targeted individual, I'm sure you can relate to what I'm talking about. And yesterday I got a comment from someone, I don't remember the name offhand, but they were saying, I love how you can just like, forget all the things that are going on around you and make these videos or ignore what's going on around you. And I remember replying and saying, it's not that I'm ignoring it. I'm very well aware of what's going on around me. There's a lot of injustices and illogical reasoning that's going on around me. So that's why one of the reasons why I make videos, because it's like, the pressure just gets too much for a person. But I have to stand my ground, because what these people do is meant to harm you in every aspect of your life, and they want you to do things to appease them when at the detriment of your own well-being, like, for example, arranged marriages to somebody who abuses you, work jobs under conditions that they set forth that are not going to make you happy, work environments that are loaded with toxic people, so on and so forth. So it's like, some business partnerships, even though you are not willing business partner with these people, they're more like holding you captive against your will type thing. it's doomed to failure. It's doomed to failure, you know. So anyway, so today, you know, I did what I can do. And so I'm going to be doing something else this weekend, focusing my mind on something else. My own personal projects, you know, like I have some PowerPoint presentations that I want to work on. And I have to do things like in increments, you know. These are not lucrative ideas. These are just informational type things that I'm working on this weekend. And you know, it's just, and I have to do these things in spurts. Like I can't make plans right now because like I can say what I'm going to do tomorrow, but tonight I might deal with severe anxiety issues that's going to prevent me from getting sleep. So then tomorrow everything's going to be thrown way out of proportion. Like I won't be able to do anything other than like just sit there and just stare out into space. It is extremely difficult to do things under this sort of mind condition. And the reason why I feel that way is because I feel threatened. I feel threatened by the illogical behavior of these people. I feel threatened by the fact that they would actually do something like this. Like you would think that adults would understand that what they're doing is wrong. And and so, you know, who's to say that they maybe understand what they did was wrong, but I need to have confirmation of that. It's like, you know, I feel like I need closure. I need closure. And the only way I can get closure is if they come to me and tell me, look, you know, this is what I did, which they're never going to do. They always want to do things behind the scenes. Or, you know, I go back to work. That's the main thing. I need to go back to work, okay? I need to go back to a regular job. I need to have some sort of sense of normalcy in my life. And that's really what I need. I need to go back to work, you know. It's difficult. It is. It's extremely difficult, you know, especially now with this bullshit virus thing issue. And it's like you wonder what's going on. You know, I just read that there's like people getting laid off left and right, and jobs are just like going away. You know, and I noticed that there's like a lot of businesses that are like parking lot centers, or what do you call it, shopping centers that are just like barren, you know. So it's a constant reminder that things aren't really good right now. They're just not. And unfortunately, you know, they put you in this situation. They put you in the middle of a forest fire, and then they give you a glass of water and tell you, oh, you know, you got to get out, right? It's ridiculous, but what can you do? So every day I'm constantly reminded of, you know, how unjust the world is. You know, my worldview is pretty negative, mainly. And it's not because it's like something I want it to be, just that, you know, I'm a realist, okay? I'm a realist. So I might go out for a walk today, and no, I'm not going out for a walk because I'm wanting to get attention or whatever. It's boring in the house. It is extremely boring in this house. So, I mean, I kept thinking, well, maybe we'll go to the park, you know, go to the park. Maybe I might make a video in the park, or just really, it's just nice to get out in the sunshine, you know. I know that when I'm in this house is a very dark, it's very dark in this house. Like the windows and the way that it's made, there's not a lot of sunlight that comes in. So it gets really dreary, you know, so it's like, you know, I need to get out and do something, and just anything, just get out, change my scenery. Like there's times when I look for work, I have a desk in my room. Sometimes I'm sitting in the desk in my room. So right now I'm in the kitchen. There's an electrical problem on the other side of the house in the living room, so there's no electricity there. That was another one of my little options. I would sit Indian style and just kind of work on my computer. That's not an option right now. So it's like I change locations in the house because I get really tired of being in the same spot, you know, and that's one of the biggest issues that I deal with is like extreme boredom, no real mind activity, because it's like, you know, you get, at least I get, you know, I need to change the scenery is basically what I was thinking about going to the library. You know, maybe do stuff like there, but, you know, that's just an option, you know, eventually in the future, I suppose. But right now, you know, it's just really hard on me. It is. It's really hard. I mean, my mood is I'm constantly moody. I have nothing but contempt for the people who put me in this situation. And I also have like this morbid fear of them because, you know, when you tell people to leave you alone and they don't leave you alone, and then you're constantly dealing with this sort of entangled BS that goes on all the time from people that are to me, like predators and people that I don't want to intermingle with. That's disturbing. That's extremely disturbing to me, and I'm not comfortable with it, Also, there's a lot of resentment towards my blood relations, my ex-family, mainly because of their sneakiness, and their deceptive behavior towards me. And I think that there's some resentment from my previous employers where I was being set up with these jobs and then me mentioning them. The reason why I mention them is because they need to know. They need to know what they did was wrong. They do. And in my last employer, I didn't mention his name, but I do fully understand that he's angry or upset that I would say things about it. But it's like you shouldn't assist in things in that sort of way. You need to know that what you do is wrong. You have to, because what you've done is you put a woman in a very bad situation to try to force a person back into an abusive relationship. That's terrible. I don't see how you're any different than those people. I really don't. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. So, I always thought, that people understood certain things, like certain laws that apply to employment. I did. I understand that some people violated employment laws. I did. I fully understood that there were some people who were like on ego trips, or maybe they weren't well qualified for their job or whatever. I always knew that existed, but I thought it existed in like very small numbers, that those were situations that happened rarely. They were rare situations, but I'm so surprised at how this is so normalized, and that's very terrifying for a lot of people, especially women, okay? So anyway, I just had to make this video. I had to say something. You can tell I'm like really tired. My eyes are kind of drooping, and I'm sleepy. I'm like exhausted. I'm like constantly crabby. I'm crabby, you know what I mean? And so they would probably think, well, I can't believe, when you're dealing with narcissistic people, they are always going to kind of try to deflect like your legitimate anger and your feelings, well, what are you complaining about? Or I remember getting a comment from my ex-brother saying, well, you should be, while you're sitting here making these videos, you should be out looking for work. I could not do that. I did look for work, okay? And I was looking through all my flash drives, looking at one of my computer files. I'm looking at all these jobs that I've applied for in the last few years. I mean, I've got thousands and thousands of resumes. So do you honestly feel as though, does it make sense to you that I should be sitting here pounding the pavement after the numbers show that I have made several attempts to find jobs when nothing, resulted in anything fruitful? I mean, it just makes sense. After a while, you become very demoralized, and you wonder, and then when you get to a job interview, is this person like one of those warped people who are going to assist a perpetrator? Are they a perpetrator? Are they somebody who's sick and perverted and twisted and condones this sort of stuff? I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't really feel confident in your job interviews. You're always terrified that there's some weirdo who's going to bring you in. And I'm just not feeling all that, right? So I'm trying to look for something that's reasonable. I hope to find an employer who is reputable, and somebody who respects those laws, the rights of other people. Hard to find, I will tell you, but what can you do, right? So I'm in one of those situations that really don't add up. I'm not, because I've been working for 20-something years, okay? 20-something years, and 23 years. Time goes by so fast. So you get these people who they want to throw in their stuff, and and when you really think about it, it's like I understand, okay, why they do it, because there's a lot of jealousy that goes on, and these sort of unauthorized, or I should say, forced business partnerships, where, they claim that they're your family, they claim that they care about you, they say that, oh, we care about her, but they're always shortchanging you. They're always shortchanging you. They find all kinds of reasons why you can't do this, and this. They don't like the order and how you were trained or whatever. And it's like, even though it's legitimate, I mean, yeah, some people graduate high school when they're 18 years old. Some people have to go and get continuation issues, or what do you call it, like the general education diploma or whatever at a certain time. Sometimes they like that, but that doesn't matter. But they'll use this as an excuse, right? They're using the excuses to keep you out of the workplace. You know what I mean? Because they don't want you to make a certain amount of money. They want to make sure that, you're always like whatever. And really, at this time right now, at this time in this like fucked up economy, it's like they still want to play this bullshit game, even when jobs are scarce and you need to get on your way. You know what I mean? This is the most annoying, frustrating part, okay? And I can assure you, Maria's not going to be able to get anything that's substantial, and I'm just not, you know what I mean? But they want to sabotage it anyway. It's like, I don't have time for the sabotage game. I don't have it, I think they were hoping that I would go back to my ex-husband, if that's what he was. I don't care what happens. I'm never going to do that. It's important for me to sever ties completely with these people. It is. I mean, I'm sick to my stomach that somebody would actually attempt to do something like that. After I've made several statements that I don't believe in that lifestyle, that these people terrify me, that I've dealt with post-traumatic stress disorder, everything under the sun, and these people still, they don't connect the dots. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be traumatized anymore. I won't. And I said it. I will protect myself by any means necessary. If that means that I'm in some enclosed place with this person, if I see a pencil, it's going straight into his eye or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how much I need you to understand that I'm not kidding. I'm not playing around. Okay? I don't want to be in the vicinity of these people. It's just that simple, okay? You can't expect somebody to, and if you do expect them, you are truly way, way out there. I mean, like, you are like way, way out there. So anyway, yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm, irritated. I'm trying to deal with, getting over this betrayal issue. The betrayal issue. It's not because I have an emotional attachment to these people, because I don't. I can't. I won't. I will never will. But it's just the fact that these people would actually feel as though I owe them something. I don't owe you shit. Because like I said, everything that these people have set up for me, they knocked it down. They would come in with their little harassing shit. They would do all this other stuff. So I don't have any reason to feel obligated to these people. Thank you so much for giving me these jobs, and thank you so much for tearing them all apart. It's just that way. You know what I mean? So, and this is a little vicious cycle that goes on with these people. So anyway, I'm hoping that people in my environment are waking up to this issue. And that's all I can do. Wake up to this issue. Let me find someone who is like reliable, somebody who plays the straight and narrow, somebody who can appreciate me for the skills that I have, and that's all I can do. You know what I mean? But it is exhausting. It is, because I spend all this time working on resumes, and then they want you to take a test, and then you're nervous. You're not going to do very well on the test. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do well on the test. Like today I took a test. I don't think I did very well on that test. I don't think I did at all. Of course, a lot of it is the fact that there's a lot of things have changed. Like, for example, in certain industries or whatever. And I'm not abreast to some of it. I'm just not, And it's difficult for me right now to even concentrate to do any studying, so I could do these sort of things. I can only work with the skill set that I currently have. And there's plenty of jobs that would allow me to do that. But of course, once I find jobs that are in my skill set, that I'm ready to go and I can do these sort of things, then I got these monsters coming in and sabotaging everything. So it's difficult, and you can't reason with these people because, the thing is, I don't care if I have to sleep under a tent, okay? I'm not going back with that person. I don't give a shit, and I'm just completely blown away by the fact that somebody would expect me to. You know what I mean? I into something like that, and it's sickening. It's very sickening. So anyway, I had to say that. I had to get this out, this frustration out. Yesterday I did it. I talked about religion, and that was something I talked about. And I think, and I talked about the spiritual, scriptural reasons for divorce several times, and I think I make I get my message clear over. I mean, I think I stated clearly. You know what I mean? I think I stated clearly. I wouldn't want to be married. My hair is a mess. I wouldn't want to be married to somebody who lives that sort of lifestyle. You know what I mean? I don't want to be married at all, really. I mean, I can't, especially at this age. It's like, just no. And I know it's a bold move for a lot of people, or to a lot of people, it's a bold move to say, oh, you just wants to take care of herself. I just do. I don't want to deal with, families that are grabby, just the what do you call it? The abuse, the saying one thing in front of your face and then meaning another, and then having just all of it. It's like, I don't want it. I've dealt with all this sort of shit all my life with deceptive family members and stuff like that, playing games behind your back and controlling social situations. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I really don't. At this point in my life, it's just like, once I hit 40, I started making decisions for myself. Like, what do I want for the rest of my life? And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the decisions based on what is right for me, how I want to live out the rest of my life. And these people aren't involved in it. I don't see how they don't fit in. They don't fit into my life path, my life goals, or my belief systems or anything. We have completely, totally opposing views on everything, which I found out. Like, I always knew that my family were different than me, right? I knew that they were different. That didn't mean that at the time, it didn't mean that I held anything against them. I just figured that's their life, and this is mine. Because that's how it was always presented to me and my family. It's like, you're 18, you're out the door, right? I had no idea that these people were like, competitive or wanted, and then you expect me to love you after all this, whatever. I mean, I just want to deal with people who have who understand things and don't ever try to manipulate my life, or bring me back into what I grew up with. Because I'm going to tell you, those years were not good. They were not good at all. They were horrible years, okay? And when I moved out here, I wasn't consciously trying to get away from them, but I did know that I needed to find a place that was different than the Antelope Valley, because I needed job opportunities is what I needed. You know what I mean? Because there really weren't any that I saw there. So I came out here, you know what I mean? And I made it, but I've always wanted to live my life independently, meaning I need to make decisions for me, my life goals that reflect my values, not Culligan's values, okay? Because him and I are not compatible. Every day I sit there and think about how warped this person is, how much I don't want anything to do with this person, so on and so forth. I mean, and then from him to just invade my life and then try to impose his views or whatever on me. You're absolutely out of your mind. You are absolutely out of your fucking mind. No fucking way, okay? I don't want your religious bullshit. I don't want your fucking ideas on what I'm supposed to wear to work. I know what I'm supposed to wear to work, okay? Obviously, I wouldn't show up to work with my hair all disheveled or whatever. And I know what to do at work, okay? But don't tell me how to live my life, my private life, who I'm supposed to be friends with, how I'm supposed to act. I have a right to live my life how I want to. This is what bothers me so much, is that this monster is not content enough to control my sister's life, which, that's her problem. Okay, she's weak. She lets it happen. But don't you dare fucking ever tell me what to do with my life. Don't you ever tell me how to live my life. You are a monster, man. I mean, seriously, every day I sit there and think, why can't you just get some sort of degenerative disease that's going to accelerate quickly, and so you can wipe you off the face of this fucking planet? I fucking hate you. I do. I fucking hate you. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. I will be back with another video some other time later. Yes, I do think about what's going on. I'm fully aware of it. I knew, even before I knew that my ex-family and everyone who was involved in it, I knew what it was about. I knew what this program is about. And I knew that this was going to make my life very difficult. That's what I did know. And I wake up every day understanding that this is the result of their bullshit. This is their doing, not mine. I will not take any responsibility for that, for their immature, childish behaviors. And I would expect more from people, such as, my ex-sister Tanya, seeing as how she's so much more educated than me. You would think that she would know better. She doesn't know better, okay? Maybe on certain things, okay? But when it comes to, like, how you don't squash my rights, you don't tell me how to live my life, I don't want your religion. I'm not a weak-minded woman like you are, okay? I will not allow some man to trample over me, or woman, or anyone else to trample over me, and then try to give me shady bullshit excuses as to why they think they're doing it. This is my life. Okay, I never asked to interconnect my life with you guys. Never. We are separate in thought in every single way, and I have the right to be that way. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I'll be back with another video some other time later. For all TIs, stay safe.